What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again, and today we got a BFR game 32 against the Calgary Flames at home, and the Hawks get whipped again, 5-1. They move to 11, 17, and 4, and they get outshot 42-31. They get out hit 34-21, and they get out face offed 30-19. On the power play, Chicago goes 0 for 3, Calgary goes 1 for 3, and January 2nd at 6 p.m., I was in for another long night as Soderblom made his first career start in the National Hockey League, and he did pretty well. I'm going to be brutally honest. Soderblom did not do anything that was particularly wrong, and he's kind of got thrown right into the mix of a bad defense and just not great. And so yeah, he saves 37 out of 41 for his first start, so kudos to him. He did great. Markstrom saves 30 for 31. Gabriel was in, Slavin was in, Caleb Jones was in. Fleury was playing as the backup, as he hasn't skated much or practiced much since he's been out with in protocol. Carpenter, Entwistle, and Stillman all out. Kurashev continuing where he left off, was making plays early in the first. Gabriel was physical early with Gabranson. Hawks turning over pucks early, but all Calgary was doing is dumping it in at that point. Gaudreau and Tkachuk collide with each other into the boards, and then DeBrincat and Borgstrom had chances saved. Kubalik was run into the boards. Gaudreau hit the post. Tkachuk runs over Soderblom, so he's saying Soderberg. But Dahan, I realized Dahan's seems like he's been getting better each game. I've been liking the way he's been playing. And then at 10:19, it's a Chicago goal. It's a one-timer from Alex DeBrincat, his 18th of the year, believed tied for 6th in the NHL. From Borgstrom and Kane, so Borgstrom starting to get on the board more. He had an assist in the last game. He had an assist in the 2 games ago. So he's finally starting to get some points. He was like, I wrote that, just like Dahan, he's been getting better each game, I think. The Hawks were controlling play at this point, and then Calgary had a 2-on-1 that missed. And then at 6:47, it's a Calgary goal from Matthew Tkachuk, his 14th of the year from Hanifin and Gaudreau, and it's 1-1. And then Doc made a good move, and then there was a good save on a Borgstrom breakaway. Flames went after Kane for kind of no reason at all. He kind of just was like holding himself up, and he was using Hanifin to like make sure he didn't go colliding into the goalie. And then 4 Flames kind of just surrounded him, and while the Hawks came to the defense of him, so there was a scrum, no penalties. 3:21 Calgary penalty to Dubé for holding the stick, which would be killed. And Soderblom was looking good. That's really all I could say. Go to the second, 11:34 Chicago penalty to bring it. Yes, 11:34. Nothing really happened those first 8.5 minutes. And then there was a good block by Hagel. And then on Shillington, Soderblom made a good save on Lucic. And then at 10:52, it's a Calgary power play goal from Elias Lindholm, his 12th of the year, from Gaudreau and Monahan to make it 2-1. Then at 10:31, 10:31, right after that penalty is killed, Kurashev gets a penalty for hooking, which would be killed. It was a bad call. Coleman really kind of sold it. He really didn't even hook him. Coleman just fell onto his stick and made it look like he was hooking. Anderson then high-sticked Hagel, then there was no call. Then at 7:01, that's a Chicago penalty to Slavin for delay of game, so just a parade of the penalty box at this point. Hagel had a great chance, shorthanded, and then a good block. Calgary cross-checked on Hagel into the boards that went uncalled. At 3:03, Calgary penalty to Zadorov for tripping after that Slavin penalty was killed. And that penalty would be killed, but on that penalty to Calgary, they score on their own penalty kill. It's Trevor Lewis, from shorthanded, with his 3rd of the year from Anderson and can't even read my own writing again. I think that says Coleman. That's what it says. I made it put my L really close to the O, and it's 3-1 Calgary. And then Backlund had a shorthanded breakaway, which would be saved by Soderblom. It was gloved. It was great save by Soderblom. Backlund was in. It goes glove side. Soderblom, kind of like something Fleury would do, would just go and just wiped out the opportunity. Doc and Markstrom then collided a little behind the net. Both were fine. Calgary had 6 shots in the first, 26 in the second. So that was interesting. Kubalik missed net on power play breakaway, and then more of a Calgary power play. That was one of the worst power plays I'd ever seen of the Hawks. We go to the third, and the Hawks mixed up the lines. Lewis just kind of laid on top of Seth Jones, and there was no penalty. Backlund breakaway was saved by Soderblom, so Backlund had 2 breakaways, both were saved. And then Markstrom makes a couple of good saves. Calgary 2-on-1 was lost control of by Coleman. Then there was a great diving play by Caleb Jones. Kane hits the right post, and then 30 seconds later hit the left post. Dubé missed a breakaway, and it was called for a penalty shot because Doc was holding and then pushed from behind. And then that penalty shot for Dubé would be saved to Doc's relief, and Dubé you could tell, was very angry at himself as he smashed his stick. The boards were very bouncy with the puck today. They were kept bouncing right in front of the net, right close to the net. Just very bouncy boards. Calgary offside went uncalled. Hagel got destroyed by Coleman, who boarded him, no penalty. Hagel was taking a beating that game. 2:35, Soderblom was pulled, and at 2:14, it's a Chicago timeout. Chicago had a 2-on-1 that was blocked, and then at 1:55, the empty net goal from Shillington from Lucic made it 4-1. And then 126, 29 seconds later, it's a Calgary goal for Johnny Gaudreau with the goalie back in, his 14th of the year, absolute snipe from Tkachuk and Backlund to make it 5-1. And then with 48 seconds to go, it's a penalty to Monahan for high sticking, which would be killed, but DeHaan got some power play time, which I thought was interesting. And DeHaan and Soderblom were the 2 people I could say that game were blameless. DeHaan is starting to do everything right. He's had some injury problems the last few years with Chicago, but he's been playing much better. And Soderblom, for his first ever start, had a pretty good game. And he played well in Nashville, too, for his first ever first ever game. But, yeah, that's really all I have for today. I'm going to say this right off now. Unless they go on a massive win streak, I'm talking 7-8 wins, they just rattle off, this team's done. They're not making the playoffs, and I'm just going to say that now. I could fully say Seattle, Chicago, Arizona, Ottawa, Montreal, Buffalo, Islanders, Devils probably right now are all going to be out of the race. And there's really no evidence whatsoever that can persuade me to say otherwise. Vancouver, teams I do think are going to make the playoffs for sure. Vancouver is going to come back. And everyone else is pretty much in a playoff spot. These 4 seem pretty solid, and these 4 seem pretty solid. These 4 seem pretty solid, and these 4 seem pretty solid. So even 16, it just depends on if anyone will choke or lose their spot, or if anyone will have a revival like Vancouver. So the question is, who will Vancouver take a spot of, since there are 8 teams up here. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. So yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. I was going to do a playoff series video, however, I just got home after a long day, and I am exhausted, so I will not be able to get that up today. So there'll be 2 playoff series coming tomorrow. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.